Oh, you know we're about to put a smile on your face. My long-term viewers know what's happening right here. All right, guys, just arrived at the shop. Getting this place opened up so we can get started with a day in the shop. I'm Jimmy. We're making it work if you're new here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure we're going to have some fun. The shop's a little short-handed this week. We got people on vacation. And we got a busy appointment schedule looking at the computer. So first thing we got to do is get all the lights turned on, get the compressors on. Oh, how you doing? Now I can really see you good. Thanks. Get this open up here. Got to get back to this. This plug turns on some of our primary lighting. Now it might seem a little hokey, but don't you worry, we're just fine. This is just how we do it, because it's expensive to wire all these lights to one switch. Anywho, get this back door open. Let's get a peek at the weather. And then we'll go over what you can expect to see in today's video. We'll put some clips in right here of what you can expect to see in this video. Kia Niro, Chrysler Sebring. It's a beautiful Jeep Grand Cherokee. She says, I want an evac and recharge. Turn the key and it goes click, click. Still waiting on my fan and shroud to come from Delta Pag. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna have to send them an email. It's been like 6 weeks now, and they said 4 to 6 weeks. Nothing but trash. No, that's not true. That's not true. Look like it's an exciting day to me. It's really hard to tell. Anyway, let's finish getting this place opened up. As you might be able to tell, we like to have some fun. We also try to learn a thing or two, and we got a lot of work to do. I feel it coming on, man. I'm kind of, oh wait, you got a little smudgy on your face. Let me get that. Ah, that's better. Saw quite a few interesting videos over the weekend, but maybe we'll talk about it during the day here while I'm waiting on a part or something to upload or software to download or something. Well, we'll try to go over some of that stuff too. Interesting videos. A lot of stuff to see on YouTube. But you're here right now, and I appreciate that. Let's get started. Stay tuned. All right, starting the day off with a comeback. Well, 2018 Kia Niro with 78,695 miles. You might notice you don't hear any noise because it's a hybrid and it runs primarily on the electric around the parking lot and stuff. Some of you guys that have been watching my channel a while might remember this vehicle. I know the hood's open. I know. And I know you're sad, and I apologize. But it's the way it's got to be, because I don't want to close it and open it again. And there's plenty of room for me to see where I'm going. Well, I wouldn't go on the highway, but onto a different lift I can. If you guys have been watching my channel a while, you remember this car originally had thermostat codes and overheating codes, and we replaced the thermostat. It ran great. I didn't see any other problems. And then he came in like 2 months later saying it overheated again and the coolant was low. And I wondered if possibly it had an air pocket, but I could never figure out what had happened with that. Why would it take so long to show the air pocket? And then I said, well, it's a hybrid. Maybe the engine doesn't run very much. Maybe he doesn't really put it in gasoline mode very often. Who knows? In any event, it's low on coolant again, and the temperature warning came on again. So what happens with these is one of two things. Either the head gasket, it's consuming coolant. Could be a leak, of course, too, but I've already looked for a leak around. I can't see anything. We're going to lift it up in the alignment rack and get another look. And the other thing that really happens with these the most is the heat exchanger, which is in the exhaust system, and it helps to warm the coolant and cool the exhaust and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So we're going to take a look around now and try to figure that out, because I know now it was not an air pocket, and I do know it's also low on coolant again. This is the hybrid cooling system. This is the gasoline cooling system. So let's lift it up, take a look around. I want to look and see what this heat exchanger thing looks like. And I asked the customer too, does it ever run bad in the morning? Or he said, no, it never runs bad. I said, do you ever see smoke out of the exhaust? He said, no. So I think what's happening is it's such a minor leak that you're not seeing smoke, but it's consuming coolant. It has to be smoking at least a little bit, but not noticeable. I'm going to get to the bottom of it one way or another. All right, heat exchanger. That's this piece. So we got options. We could bypass it. Might set codes or something like that. I'm not sure. I want to say this might be under warranty. Sometimes these will have a 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. And I believe this is considered powertrain, right? But it is quite the contraption. So that's the way I'm thinking we're going. And I'm going to let them know, see what they want to do. That's where we're at with this fiasco. Let's see what's going to happen with this thing. I think they just Ubered them home. Behold, the legendary Chrysler Sebring, also known as the 200, I believe. Got no brakes. They thought they saw fluid on one of the front wheels. I'm going to figure that out. Don't stop till you're at the post office. 108,561 miles. Love rating of 4. It's really on the cusp of getting a 5, but just a little bit of trash. I got to deduct a point for that. Pretty clean, actually. Comfy drive. These are actually pretty nice cars. They're pretty easy to work on, all things considered, but we work on them a lot, so that's another thing to consider. Let's get this thing in the air and take a look at these brakes, see what's going on. It definitely has no brake pedal, which is really exciting driving it in with the electronic knob and electronic parking brake. There's no manual brake pedal for parking, and there's no manual shifter. Usually I'll put it in drive, back to neutral. So I was doing it with the little knob. That was exciting. I didn't film it because I didn't want to crash. Well, the brake pads and rotors are fairly new, but oh, that's all right. The brake hose is leaking. That's the second Chrysler product in the past few months with a leaking brake hose and no visible damage or anything. The hose just starts leaking. The pads and rotors are pretty good though. They've been done. I'm going to recommend both front brake hoses because that is not a good thing when a brake hose pops. It has no brake pedal, so they probably were braking heavily and the hose let go. That's what I'm going to guess. The rear brakes need to be done. They're at like 2 millimeters. They're not metal to metal, but definitely front hoses and rear brake pads. Replacement tire monitor. Make sure the oil level's good and full, and look at the tires and all that kind of thing too. And we'll note anything else on the ticket that I see. Something you always want to, this tire's pretty close. Something you always want to do every time you look at a customer's car. And some people say you're selling people stuff, but I say you're keeping people safe and at least letting them know, and then it's up to them from there. You don't, when a mechanic says you need a tire, if you don't want to buy the tire yet, you don't have to. But I wouldn't send anybody down the road with a tire like that without at least saying that tire is ready to be replaced. Anyway, we'll come back and see what's going to happen on this one. We got a Jeep to look at. Check interior lights staying on. I did get approval on this one. Front hoses, rear pads and rotors. No tire, but the parts are on the way. I'm going to take a quick look at this one. I'm assuming the dome light switch is on or something, but let's go look. It's a beautiful Jeep Grand Cherokee. 111,600 miles. Boom. Problem solved. Load rating of 5. I don't see anything wrong with it. Let me go see if there's anything else going on as far as other light problems. And that way we don't have to charge her. As long as I don't have to hook a scanner up or anything, I'm not going to charge her. Alright. Left blinker. Uh-oh. They're all blinking fast. I bet you it's got LED bulbs. Chrysler products hate those. You got to put the modules in with them. They're working, just blinking fast. Anytime you change the resistance in the circuit, they'll blink fast. Especially with Chryslers, they get really mad. So, let me let them know. See if they shut off when I close the door. Oh, snap. Ah, this is also on. Okay. Now it'll shut off. Someone tried to do everything they could to make sure the dome lights would stay on. That's funny. There we go. All right, it's fixed. Oh my goodness gracious. Chrysler, how far you've fallen. They made it into a European style stud nut, but they didn't fix the expanding covers. They're like, how can we possibly make lug nuts the most terrible style on earth? Oh, we'll put the expanding nuts on the European style bolts. It's a great idea. That way mechanics will recommend our products online. Or not. Alright, there's anti-seize on the threads. They're all expanded. I can't get the socket on. I tried a 20 on the first nut and it really made things bad. So generally what I'll do in this case is force the 19 on. That'll kind of crush all the corrosion that's in there between the two pieces of metal. I'll hammer it on. Hammer it a little bit loose. It is an emergency. You got to make sure you're going to get your socket off. Good luck if you get a flat tire. These nuts are probably like 12 bucks a piece, knowing the way they generally do things. It's going to be all 20 nuts. You're going to hammer on the socket. You got to make sure you got enough threads in the hub that you don't bend the nut or anything. And I need my socket back, so we have a lot of options. We're short-handed again today because Bill's not here and Katie didn't come in this morning because the neighbor's dog had to go to the vet or something like that. But we are doing what we got to do to make it work, and that's what really matters. You see the brakes are in really good shape. Yeah, I'm gonna get the back wheels off, but I'm not gonna put you through the same agony I have to go through. Oh, speaking of awesome, look at the body work on this thing. Does that show up? Pretty bad. Anyway, my wife got me a new cart for my birthday. What do you think about that? Heck yeah. I drilled some holes, mount my pry bars. It comes with cup holders. It's really a detailing cart. I'm gonna put it in my Amazon store. It's like $100 bucks, 110 bucks or something like that. I put my magnetic strips on it, and it comes with a little shelf too, so I can put hardware places when I'm working on things. It comes with a bin for my rags. I got some magnetic fender covers too. So I'm tired of my fender covers falling on the ground. These were like 29 bucks. There's 3 of them in there, and they're light duty, but just to stop from scratches, right? I don't like to set tools on fender covers anyway. That's what the cart's for, right? Electrical connector off this parking brake motor. That way I know it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna have to take the caliper and pivot it up to get to the bolts for that, but let's take a look and see. It should be a 10 millimeter. I brought my slim wrench in case it doesn't take it out. Ah, I knew it. Now I can get to that motor easy. I don't know why they got this hardware is so complicated. Pads come with new ones too, so that'll be interesting to see how close they match. The more complicated they are, the less the aftermarket stuff seems to match. I'm not going to throw these out yet, just in case. Look at that contraption. Torx bolts, because European. Why is this not triple square like Volkswagen? They want to make it too obvious. Let's go ahead and wind this piston in. I'm going to use a 8 millimeter triple square. Doesn't quite fit right. It's a little sloppy. but it'll work. At least I hope it will. The piston will stop until you thread it some more. Stop. When you use your scan tool and tell it to put it in service mode, this is what it does. It spins this for you. So you don't have to do it manually. But to me, that's way easier than getting the scan tool out and all that. There's no right or wrong way, as long as you get the job done and it's done right. When you're all done, it's going to be like brand new. That's what I really like. I like brand new stuff. This boot, not so much brand new. But if I let some of this air out, the air is trapped in the boot cavity, and I'll be able to work it back in. That should be good. A little bit of grease when we go back together with that. Uh-oh. Dropped my nuts. I got them. Don't worry. Oh, only one fell. Never mind. I just dropped one bolt. This here is in really good shape, actually. Someone is putting copper anti-seize or grease, or that turned silver, or grease that turned copper colored. I'm not sure. It could be rust and grease. Just a dab will do you. A little bit of grease underneath, a little bit of grease on top. I just cleaned this motor housing up a little bit, made sure the dirt was out of there. Teeniest little bit of grease. Now, it should pop over this O-ring pretty easily. Couple of these. Same exact process as using your scan tool. And like I said, you know, if you prefer to use your scan tool, go ahead. The scan tool will wind the screw, and you'll still have to push the piston back afterwards. I just knocked them both out, taking these two Allen screws out. Now you got to go into these hooks, push these down, and kind of, it's fun. Sometimes you use a little makeshift hammer to give you a little assist. Make sure everything's in place like it's supposed to be. All your little springs stayed, nothing got tweaked. Hook up my electrical connector. Get a nice click. 10mm bolt. The reason I did it that way is because they want you to take the brake line bracket and all that stuff and be tweaking on the brake line. I'd rather just take the bottom one out. You got to kind of work it past the spring a little bit. No big deal. I had a quick once over. I got everything. Get the wheel on here, and we'll get onto the front brake hoses. I think the hoses are here now too. All right, these brake hoses have a screw-in end for the caliper, so you don't have to deal with the copper washers that normally come with them, or aluminum washers. Just threads into the caliper. So it makes a little bit of a mess because I'll have to loosen this fitting, and then once I get that fitting loose, pop the clip, pop that out, unscrew it from the caliper, and then the new one will get threaded in the caliper first, because if you attach this end and you have to rotate it too many times, it'll bind the hose and could damage it. So you always want to get this tight first and do this last, because obviously this fitting doesn't care what position it finishes in, but the hose sure does. This should be a 14. I like to use side cutters for these clips. It just works for me. Everyone's got their own plan of attack. I do have a drip pan under there. Sometimes the left and right brake hoses are different. In this car, they're the same left to right. Ah. Give them an inch, they take a mile. I'm not even gonna put it up in the bracket unless it finds its happy home by mistake. Gets a little messy. You can also use the side cutters to put these clips back in. And there is generally one position the hose goes back. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I contacted the winner of that scan tool, by the way, that CR Launch Creator Elite 2.0. I contacted the winner, but they haven't emailed me yet. So I'm going to give them another couple of days, and I'll pick a new winner if they don't respond. We're going to bleed it too, but I'm going to go ahead and put the other brake hose in first. Filled that reservoir full of .3. This side will take a little longer because this side was empty. Basically, that means that whole channel through the ABS unit and everything is empty. The reservoir still had a tiny bit of brake fluid in it, but not much. So I'm going to have to obviously recheck the other side as well. They declined their brake flush part. Otherwise, I would just do all 4 wheels and get all clean brake fluid everywhere. But it's going to mostly get a brake flush basically anyway. So I'm going to give this a few minutes. I like to gravity bleed them, as you guys might know. I know some people probably don't like that, and I've mentioned that before too. But what really matters is when you're done, you got a good brake pedal. You'll know it. Pedal's right at the top, everything's good. You know you got the air out. Pedal spongy, continue, or get a helper. Now we got some action on the problem side. Won't be much longer. Let's get this wheel on here, take this thing for a drive. Uh-oh. That customer with this little silver Hyundai. Well, this one says they're using oil and they don't know why. I don't see leaks. I don't see oil-fouled spark plugs. I pulled them all out while you guys were taking a nap. And it's got 130 some odd thousand miles on it. His air works really good. Trip. Bink, bink, bink. 133,018 miles. 2015 Kia Soul. This one is a 2012 Hyundai Elantra. She says, I want an evac and recharge. We said, well, we need to check it out, find out what's wrong with it. She said, I'm not paying your rip-off diag charge. My husband said I need an evac and recharge. So I hooked the machine up. It looks like it's full, but I think it has a bad compressor. Full disclosure. You don't get what's it called, flies with vinegar. I'm going to recover some refrigerant, see how much is in it, and then I'll know if she needed an evac and recharge. That's what she wants, no questions asked. She's tired of all our crap. Mechanics are thieves. This holds 0.94 to 1.05 pounds. So interesting. It was low, only about 0.4 pounds. We're going to charge this thing up completely, make sure it's completely full, or how's that go? 1.04, so we're going to put 1 pound in it, make sure it's completely full. That's it. Charge. I'm going to tell this machine 1 pound. We're going to see how it works. Very clean little car. It's an older lady, which I'm surprised someone must have told her this evac and recharge deal. I don't know what's going on with that, how she arrived at that, but seems to be doing something. It's about 93, 94 today, a lot of humidity. And humidity works the system really hard. It's basically pulling humidity out of the air, absorbing heat. I'm gonna call it a day and see what's next. I still have to road test that Sebring. And he's talking to the customer about how much oil consumption he thinks it has. we may need to make sure the oil is dead level and have them go 1,000 miles and bring it back. So yeah, this still isn't working that great. It got a little cooler and then it stopped getting cooler. I'm curious. I gotta put the low side hose on at least and see what the low side pressure is. Get on there, you rascal. Aha! So it felt like it was cooling off at first, but then it stopped. The compressor is bad. It's not pulling the low side down, which is what I thought I saw before I did the evac and recharge. It was low on refrigerant as well. But now that it's full, it's still about 60 psi like I saw when I first hooked the machine up. Needs a compressor. Time for a little drive. Oh, look at that brake pedal. My gracious goodness. It'll even stay now when I put it in gear. I wonder why the speedometer or odometer is blinking. That's not the camera. It's actually blinking. Maybe it's unhappy about the mileage? I don't know. I know the oil change sticker says 104, 328, and we're at 108, 561. So 4,500 miles over if the oil change sticker is accurate. But the oil level is good, so they're adding oil maybe? Or the sticker's not accurate. But I will definitely ask about it. We'll see if they want to do that too. Anyway, let's go drive this, seat these brake pads for them, and see if there's something else to do. Look at all of these hot rods. This one here, the customer said it died while driving. It's 2 quarts low on oil, and I turned the key and it goes click, click. Before I even came out here, I told them to start putting a price together on the engine. It's really not funny, but that's not going to fit. It's smaller now. I thought for sure it was going to be a 24. It must be a 22. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll at least try to turn it the other way too. I said it died while driving, it won't restart, and it's a Kia or a Hyundai. 9 times out of 10 needs an engine, but okay, that was easy. Needs an engine. I wonder what the mileage is. Some of these have extended warranties and stuff. I know every time I talk about one, people let me know that, as if I don't know. So I figured I'll mention it to save you guys from typing. 2015, January of 14. Mileages. I think 150 is what they go to now or something like that. I have to check again. 254,120. Well, you took this car to its limits. The oil change is due at 251.8. What'd I say it was? So 2,500 miles over. But that doesn't mean anything. It's got a problem with an AC actuator too. I'm gonna lock it up right here. Have them put together a price on the engine that's not gonna be under warranty with 250K. Let's see what else we got around here. It's kind of slow. Good thing we're short-handed today. All right, guys, we are closing up. That's it for today. We got some stuff done. Not nearly as much as I'd like. Pretty slow. Katie was out all day and Bill's out, so we're a little short. Maybe that's why. Hopefully you got something from it, though. Maybe you'll click the like button before you head out. And subscribe if you haven't yet. I hope I see you in the next one, because you're awesome.